Part of why I do these videos is when you guys tag me and stuff that you want me to discuss, and this one was a specific tag from the lovely Shagan. I'm very sorry if I've mispronounced your name. I am trying my best. I'm Irish and it's a whole thing. But she wanted me to discuss this, and I do have thoughts. This is Anastasia Beverly Hills, and they've taken their existing modern renaissance, which, by the way, if you were on YouTube a couple of years ago, you knew that just blew up the internet. Everyone lost their minds. Modern Renaissance was the thing. And then Sultry was its really, really popular predecessor. So what they've essentially decided to do is take their Modern Renaissance palette, which is over there on the very left, and their Sultry palette, which is here on the right, and make them into smaller 9-pan palettes. So let's actually have a little discussion on this because, as I said, I do have thoughts. These are apparently part of the Holiday 2023 collection, so it's not really clear as to whether or not these are going to be limited edition. I kind of think that it might. Now, here's the thing. If you have been into makeup as long as me, you're kind of sitting there kind of going, what is this about? Why are they recycling their things? But not everyone that is currently into makeup has been into makeup as long as we have. They didn't grow up in the 2016 era of makeup, which was cake on about 50 different items, and honestly I still enjoy that era of makeup. A lot of the new makeup users are in the trendy clean girl aesthetic, so actually this fits exceptionally well. So what they've done here is take this what would be considered dated palette, the modern renaissance wasn't that popular way back in the day, and they've made it a much smaller curated palette for the much more recent makeup user. And I think that's actually really, really smart, because what you could actually do is just continue to just cater for your existing customers and not try to bring anyone new into the fold. But they have catered to the existing customers. They came out with the Fall Romance, they came out with the Cosmos. We all love those, but they're really trying to diversify and make sure that they're hitting as many demographics as possible and making sure that they are diversifying their client base. And I think that's very, very interesting, because we've seen this traditionally with brands before. Think of Clinique, Clarins, etc. They have a very specific demographic, and it's because they didn't really try to change to bring in a newer demographic, and now we just see that they cater towards a very specific age group, and you don't really tend to hear of people under a certain age discussing those products. And I think ABH is very aware of that, and that's why they've done that. Now, to make this very, very clear, this product is not for people like me who have been obsessed with makeup for a really, really long time. And that's fine. It's for the newer makeup users to really get them in on the game. Now, where I think they've missed a beat is when they've done the 9-pan Sultry. Now, again, if you were part of the YouTube community way back in the day, you will remember that sort of shade there that was quite corally, I think is a bloom, I think it was bloom, that took the internet by storm, because there were very, very few kind of palettes that had that. I remember Urban Decay did their Naked Reloaded that kind of had a similar shade because they were trying to dupe it. I think it's a pity that they didn't include that in there. Kind of, where the silver is in the center, they could have put that in. And that could have been so fun, because I really do feel that would fit in quite a bit with a more modern aesthetic. That's literally my only critique here, to kind of diversify things a little bit further. But I do think it's interesting. Now, I will say I don't have the Sultry palette. I think it's one of the few ones that I didn't get because it just wasn't 100% my kind of colour story. But I think this is smart from ABH in terms of their marketing and making sure that their brand stays relevant, because they did have that point where they dipped in popularity. And I think they just know, based upon that success is very fleeting, and they are trying to take on consumer feedback, which I really respect. As I said, it's not for me, but that's literally because these palettes are not made for me. They're not made for people like me. They are made for a younger audience, and I totally, totally respect that. So I can actually see where there's a gap here and where this makes sense for them to come out. Now, you could be really jaded and go, oh, this is such a cash grab, blah, blah, blah. Which, by the way, I think that phrase is really silly. Everything is a cash grab. Nobody does things for free. That's such a silly thing to say. But I think this is smart for them to like really get in those particular palettes to a younger age group that do like a more like dialed back, pared down sort of makeup look. They don't want to do cut creases in the same way that we do. And that's great. Makeup is for everyone. It shouldn't be exclusionary. It shouldn't be like, this is for me, it's not for you. I am all for a brand that is trying to take on as many people as possible and kind of say, hey, there's room for you here. I like that. I think that's nice. Are these my vibe? No. But again, that's fine. That's totally fine. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Again, we can be nice to each other. We don't have to be meh, 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 meh in the corner. But I think this is a smart idea from them. Really good in terms of marketing. Very, very smart on that grounds. But let me know because I am nosy and I like chatting with you guys. Yeah.